I'm Tina Spangler with TLC Barrels, and today I want to talk to you about TLC Spots. Basically, over the years I realized there were certain places I always rode to, depending on the individual horse, and I had to learn to explain that to my clients so that they would understand where they were looking and riding to. So just to quickly go over it, the arc, which is your approach to first barrel, whether you go left or right, it's going to vary. If you have a little catty horse, it might be 5 to 7 feet. If you have a average size horse, it might be 7 or 8 feet. Your big bubba with a big motor, a big stride, or maybe a stiffer style, they may need 11 to 12 feet. They're all going to vary a little bit. But the most important thing to remember is your pocket going in, spot one, the entrance. On no horse will you ever want less than 3 feet for them to get around the barrel correctly. And on no horse will you ever want more than 5 feet, because more than 5 feet, they'll start to drop the shoulder, swing the butt. It takes up more strides around the barrel and just puts them out of position. So with that said, your smaller catty horse might only need 3 feet at spot one, your average horse 4 feet, and your big bubba might need 5 feet. That's the entrance of going into each turn. The backside is what I call spot two. That's a very important place to look and ride to. So once you get to your arc, you should be focused on spot one. You don't want to get more than a quarter turn ahead of your horse. You should be riding two hands on most horses. Some horses, more advanced, open horses, you may ride one-handed, but for most, you'll want to ride two hands to help balance them with your balance rein and guide them straight to their position. So you'll get to your arc, and somewhere between your arc, which is where the tracks cross, and spot one, the entrance, you can go to the horn. Just remember that you don't want to give a turn cue when you give a rate cue. So if you go to the horn, still stay in the straight position. Once you get to spot one, you're going to look a quarter turn ahead for spot two, the back side. You don't want to start your turn until your leg gets to the barrel. A lot of horses have a bad habit of starting their turn at their shoulder, and that's just going to cause you time. They'll start to anticipate. Oftentimes it's because the rider looks down their neck, picks up their rein, or goes to their inside hip and causes the horse to start their turn. So keep your shoulders and your hips square. That will help. You can keep even weight in your stirrups when you're going fast and slower. You may even put a little weight on your outside hip or stirrup. But generally you're just going to be centered in your stirrups square when you're going fast. Don't lean to the inside. So then after you know you've got to spot two and their hip is all the way to spot two, there's a point where they're going to pivot out, and that's between spot two, the backside, and spot three, the exit. On first and third barrel, that's going to happen just after you clear spot two. But on second barrel, because it's a full turn, that's not going to happen until you're almost to spot three. And at that point, when you get to spot three, you're already down on your horn. Hopefully your elbow's into your side. You're kind of pushing against your horn to help you stay in the middle and sitting in your turn. But when you get to that spot three and you want your horse to snap out, you're going to use just maybe an inch of rein. Your inside hip and shoulder are going to say, okay, now turn. And then maybe even your outside leg, depending on the individual horse. Outside leg by the front cinch is going to square up those shoulders. Inside hip is going to say, turn now. When your shoulders and hips are square, that's going to say to stay straight or from one spot to the next spot. Only when you go to that inside hip should they be pivoting out. So if you have a horse that roll back and hits barrels leaving, you're going to want to really focus on staying square all the way to spot three. If you have a horse that doesn't do that, but you want them to snap a little harder out, you may get to spot two and start to look around for your next barrel as you use your shoulder and hip to get that snap from spot two to spot three. So that just sums up my spots. I hope that's helpful, and there's lots of videos of me demonstrating that as well in my members only page. Thank you.